so that's how they get alcohol. You ferment it. Pickles, yeah, fermented pickles. So not all pickles are fermented pickles that are used with bacteria. Not all sauerkraut is still going to have these benefits. The biggest benefit of these fermented foods is they need to use bacteria to ferment the food. So as the bacteria eat and break down the food, they produce things that are going to be beneficial to our body. We eat the bacteria, and those bacteria are antiviral, they're antibacterial, they're antifungal. They compete with other food in our body to prevent infections. They're gonna prevent against autoimmune diseases. And so when we put good bacteria into our body, we set off a signal in the digestive tract that says things are good, we've got healthy bacteria here, we don't need to have the bloodstream reacting and pulling out white blood cells and creating these war cells. It's kind of like waving the white flag and saying all is good. So these foods are going to help with allergies, which is an over-responsive immune system. It's going to help with autoimmune diseases. It's going to improve our gut health, and it's going to prevent against infections. So sauerkraut isn't just sauerkraut. If you're going to get the kind that's going to be beneficial, you need the refrigerated sauerkraut. Once it's cooked and it's in the can, you kill off all the stuff that's good in there. So if you take a refrigerated bag of sauerkraut and you put it on the stove and cook it for a while, you kill off all the good stuff that's in there. You need to use the fresh sauerkraut that's in the refrigerator section. Same thing with the pickles. If you get the pickles off the shelf that are just in the bottle that you buy that aren't refrigerated, those they don't have much left in them. They've already been cooked off. You need the refrigerated ones. So completely different spot in the grocery store. One of the things that's on there is yogurt. So they use bacteria to culture the yogurt, which is good. It's better than regular dairy, but dairy does have a few side effects, so it's probably not the best source of this fermented food. One of the interesting studies they looked at, everybody heard of the bird flu, the bird flu that was going around in Asia? People were worried about their chickens dying, so they were feeding them sauerkraut, and the chickens were living, and the ones that weren't getting fed sauerkraut, they were dying. So it was the good bacteria that was in the sauerkraut that was preventing these birds from contracting the bird flu. So the same theory applies to us if we're worried about getting the swine flu or some of these other flus. If you eat some of this fermented food, it protects you against some of these things. So in the spring of the year, when we're worried about allergies and we're worried about some of these new strains of infections and flus that are going around, if you can add some of this fermented foods, it can protect you against that. Fourth one, local, brightly colored, organic vegetables. So lots of words here. Most of them are pretty important though. So local. Why does local matter? Why does it matter where we get our food?
Fresher.
Fresher, yeah. Just to support the farmers in the area, or do you think that actually matters with the nutrients in the food? It actually matters with the nutrients in the food. The further you transport food once it's been picked, the more nutrients it loses. So the fresher you can eat it, not only does it taste better, but you actually have more nutrients when you measure the nutrient density of the food. When it's grown locally, you have more nutrients in there. Bright colored, so these bright colors actually come from ingredients that are in the food that give them their bright colors. The antioxidants and the different vitamins and minerals that are in the food give them the bright colors. So the more brightly colored we can get them, usually the more vitamins and minerals and nutrients that they have in them. And it's interesting because if you look at an organic vegetable compared to one that's grown using pesticides and stuff, they'll look a little bit differently. They have the organic ones might be smaller. They're going to have a little different color to them. They have a little different texture to them, a little bit different taste to them. They look, they taste, they're a little bit different. So organic is important because as you spray chemicals on there, that's the opposite of an antioxidant. It's an opposite of a detoxification. The chemicals are going to be a negative thing that we have to now heal from or detoxify. And if you're a woman, the pesticides that they spray on there are even more important because most of the pesticides are estrogen reactive. So if you have estrogen in your body, now combines with the pesticides and it causes more problems. So if you look at things like MS or fibromyalgia or chronic fatigue, and you just look at it comparing men to women, you see many more problems in women. You say, why is that? Well, it's because a lot of these pesticides and chemicals are going to be estrogen reactive. So, more important probably if you're a woman. And then vegetables versus fruits. Fruits are good. Brightly colored fruits are good. Vegetables are going to be better. They're going to balance out the pH. There's less sugar in the vegetables, so they balance the pH a little bit better. So, more colors, more minerals. Organic costs more money, but they have more nutrients and no bad stuff. They're anti-inflammatory. They balance pH in the body. They're antioxidants. And here's an interesting one. They looked at people that were eating a raw vegetable diet, and they just looked at cross-sections of their arteries, and again, it's been believed that artery calcification, atherosclerosis, the plugging of the arteries only goes one direction, will only get worse as time goes on. They found that people that were on the diet where they're eating only this organic fruits and vegetables, they actually see the atherosclerosis starts to go down and reverse itself. So, not taught that way in school, but when they actually look at the studies, they see that the plugging of the arteries can actually reverse itself. So, pretty interesting. Walnuts and flax. How many people have heard that nuts are good for them? Certain nuts are better. So, peanuts, not actually in the same category as this. They're a legume, they grow on the ground. They kind of get moldy. Walnuts, a little bit different. So, anybody heard of walnuts called brain food before? Walnuts are higher in a concentration of omega-3. Your brain and your nerves are made out of omega-3. So when you can add omega-3, or you can add walnuts in, helps your brain function better. Also have tons of soluble fiber, which attaches to that cholesterol. It's going to lower the cholesterol levels. So if you have a heart issue, you're going to say, well, nuts are good. It's going to balance out the pH in your body. So very good at balancing pH. Same with flax. They're kind of neat because they're made out of protein, so they're going to reduce your hunger levels. So if you're looking for a snack during the day, instead of grabbing a candy bar or something that has lots of sugar, if you grab some nuts, it's actually going to fill you up. The protein takes longer to digest, and so it's going to prevent those insulin spikes in the body. So if you eat sugar, your insulin levels spike up real fast, and then they crash down real fast, so you get tired. When you add some protein or some nuts in there, it takes longer to go up and longer to go down, so we don't end up with those big energy crashes and spikes. And they improve digestive health because it helps keep things moving. So walnuts and flax are the highest things that have the most omega-3 in them. Still not very good at giving you enough omega-3 in your body. Your body still has to convert those into the usable form of omega-3, so we only have a small amount of the enzyme available in our body to convert this stuff. Animals have much more ability to convert these foods into the usable form of omega-3, so if we eat the animal that's been eating the grass and stuff, we're going to get more omega-3 than just eating the nuts. The last one, garlic and onions. So, kind of funny, but it's on the list. Tons and tons of benefits. So, anybody heard the old story of if you're around Dracula or a vampire, you should carry a thing of garlic with you? There's actually some truth to that. When you look at blood-sucking insects like a mosquito, if you're eating garlic, they're going to be less likely to attack you. You actually put off a little bit of an odor that the garlic gets in the bloodstream, and those blood-sucking animals don't like that. So, garlic and onions, they have some really good benefits. They lower your total cholesterol. They raise your HDL, which is your good cholesterol. It's going to reduce our risk for atherosclerosis, lowers our blood pressure, decreases blood clots. It's an antibacterial and antiviral, so it's a natural antibacterial. So if you're getting an infection, let's say you have an ear infection, they actually make garlic eardrops you can put in your ear, because garlic is such a powerful antibacterial thing that it will kill off the infection in the ear. Or if you're worried about having a blood infection, you eat some raw garlic, it's gonna kill that off. They produce natural killer cells, and so these things kind of sound dangerous, but they're made by your body, and those natural killer cells go out and they look for bacteria, they look for viruses that are problems, they look for cancer cells. So we need these natural killer cells to go out and break up the cancer cells, break up the tumors. And so very, very important with garlic and onions. They protect against neurological degenerative diseases like Alzheimer's, and then they're a powerful detoxification agent.
And is that the same, that it's more benefit to eat it raw?
Yes. So the more you cook it, the more you lose some of those ingredients that are in there. So Same thing with like the flax.